Hello. Oh, hi. It's just told me that it wasn't going to connect and then it connected. So, good evening. Kim Dunn here from Positive Young Minds, and we're trialling a new time tonight of 7:30. So hopefully there'll be a couple of people who can come and join and talk a little bit about how their goal experience is going. And for some reason I have a big streak across my screen. I hope that's not too distracting for people. So the topic tonight is what to do when things fall apart and your goal doesn't seem to be working out due to one thing or another. And I'm going to talk to you about a problem-solving model that I have, that I like, that I use quite a lot, which is a 6-step problem-solving model. So while I'm waiting for people to hopefully come and join, I'll talk a little bit about the model. So, as I said, 6 steps. So the first step is defining the problem. So what's actually wrong? What's actually causing, I'm just moving around to try and make it sure it's a little bit better. Okay. And that can be really tricky, figuring out what the problem is. Frequently one of the obstacles that comes up when we're trying to do goal setting is time. So people get started and then they kind of realise that there's no time, or they think there's no time in their life for what they want to do. They get to the end of the day and realise that they haven't been able to fit it in. So a problem of time is quite common. So that's the first step, to identify what the problem is. And you might need to dig a little bit deeper. So is the problem that you need to find another 10-15 minutes in a day, or is the problem you need to find half a day somewhere on the weekend to go out and do something you'd like to do? Once you've played with what the problem is, then the second step is to do some brainstorming. So this is a bit of the fun, creative part of problem solving. So how many different ways can you come up with to fix the problem? And it can be you, it can be a friend. It's really great if there's a few more of you. It could be someone who's also in your family, it doesn't help, to help as well. Once you've done your brainstorming and think that you've thought of absolutely everything you can, there'll be more stuff you can think of as well. And the rule with brainstorming is that anything goes, really tapping into creativity here. So as long as it's not illegal or involves hurting anyone, put it down. Once you've brainstormed, then you switch on the more analytical part of your brain and go through and evaluate whether you think what you've come up with will actually work. Will it help you solve your problem? When you do this, it's not just about whether it will work for you, it's also about whether it will work for other people around you, other people in your family, other people in your workspace. So we're also tapping into a bit of perspective taking and empathy. The next step is then, the fun bit is you actually choose something to do. So you go through it all and go, yep, that won't work, that might work, yeah, no, definitely that will work. You pick it, go away, give it a go. Then you work out whether it actually helped. And if it didn't, that's fine. Go back to your brainstorming list and pick something else. If it still doesn't feel right, if you've brainstormed it all and it's still not right, go back and have a look at your problem. You might find that your problem actually wasn't time. Your problem might be that the goal you're actually trying to achieve doesn't fit with you and your values. So what's really important to you? We might find it isn't time. It's having a place or a resource or a skill or a knowledge or something else. But working through the problem-solving model can be a really good way of figuring that out, because goal setting can be tricky. Sounds relatively easy, but there's lots of different cognitive components in making it work and then sticking with it. So So that's the topic for tonight. Now, we haven't had any more questions about what obstacles people have come up with, but I know time is a pretty common one. So if you're looking at this after the event, indicate whether time was an issue that came up for you, or whether your problem was something different. Maybe your goal wasn't clear enough. Maybe people around you weren't supporting what your goal was. Maybe you just kept forgetting. So your problem was remembering to stick with your goal. And while we're here, I'll give you another hint about sticking with your goal, and that's what we call the PREMAP principle, which is to do with